Hey guys, Mr. Flanders here, and welcome to day one of our ELA and our spelling studies. Before we really get into the worksheet though, what I wanted to do was talk to my friends about some of the phonics sounds that we're going to be focusing on in this worksheet. And what I've done is I've actually taken the first word that we have to unscramble from our worksheet, and I've written it here on the board. And what I want to show you guys before we really delve into that worksheet is one way that we could kind of unscramble the word without doing too much work and really beating ourselves up about it, okay? So, I've got the word gib on the board. Gib. Have you ever heard the word gib? I did not think so. And that's okay, because it's not a real word, okay? Our job is to actually find the real word that's inside of it, okay? Now, one of the best ways that we could do this is through our sounds. We know g, I, b, okay? The G makes the g sound, the I makes the I sound, and the B makes the b sound. Now, if we take these sounds and these letters and we write them out a different way, I could take the I and write it here. I could write the B and write it here. And then the G. And then I could sound it out again and see if I finally got a word. Let's try it. I, b, g. Ibg. Okay. Obviously, I do not have a word. I don't think anybody here has heard of an ibg, because it's not real. It's not a real word. Okay, but this is where phonics really comes into play. Because if it doesn't sound right to you in your ears, well, we need to take another crack at it and see what does sound right. Okay, and that's why it's important not just to be able to hear it, but also see it. So far we know gib is not right. We know ibg is not right. But what if I take it and I write the b first? B. I. G. B-ig. Big. Is big a word? Yeah, it is. We've all heard that word before. All right, that big kid, or that big guy, that big toy, that big drink from McDonald's. We've all heard the word big before. B-ig. Big. Okay? So when it comes to unscrambling words, all we have to do is listen for what sounds right, as well as writing it out so we can see it the right way too. All right, and we're going to practice that in just a second on our worksheet. I'll see you in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we just looked at the word big on the board, and as you can see, that is actually the first word that is on this worksheet. Okay, what we really need to do is focus on trying to match the sounds with the letters and put them in the right order. Now, the great thing about this particular worksheet is the fact that each word that we do not know is spelled correctly yet has the first letter put in front of us. So some of the work is already done for us. So let's go ahead and take a look at the second word. We know the first letter is going to be M, so we don't have to change this M at all. But we need to figure out where the M and the O go here. Because right now what we've got is m-m-ah. M-m-ah. And that's not a word. Ma. No, that sounds weird. Okay? Now, we don't have a lot of choices here, except maybe to switch around the M and the O. We've got to leave this M right here. That's what this one tells us right here. So what if we, before we wrote it over there, checked right here? We can write underneath it. We've swapped the letters. So let's try sounding it out now. M, a, m. M, a, m. Mom. Does that sound like a word? You bet it does. Mom. So I'm going to write the M, m, a, m, m, Mom. Mom. All right. So we've got big, we've got mom. Go ahead and take a second and finish writing that down, and then we're going to move on to the next word. Now we see the next word starts with f. And we see that f is in this word, but it's the last sound in this word. Because right now the word says atf, atf, and that's not a word. But we know the word does start with a f. So, what if we wrote f, t, a, ft, a, ft, a. Is that a word? No, didn't work swapping the letters around. What if we swap them around a little bit differently? So what if we took the f, left it here, because we have to, it's the start of the word. So what if we took f, and then the a, and then t is the last sound. F, at, f, at, fat. Ooh, there's our word. There's our word. F, at, fat. I love it. It's the word fat. We've got that word. Very good. All right. While you're finishing that up, I'm going to clarify one thing on this next word. This looks like our next word is going to start with an I, but that's actually an L. This little dot here is just telling us that's where we start to make our L. You can see this is an L right here. Okay? It's an L. So we know that our word is going to start with L, because L makes the L sound. But right now it's telling us L-G-E. L-G-E is not the word. I mean, it doesn't sound like a word, does it? L-G-E. L-G-E. What is a L-G-E? I have no idea, because it's not a word. But we know we have to put the L first. Instead of leaving that G here, what if we took that E and put it down here? E. L, E, G. Let's sound it out now. L, E, G. Leg. Is that a word? Darn tootin', it's a word. Let's write it down. L, E, G. Leg. Very good, my friends. Very good. All right. Go ahead and take a second. Finish that up. Okay, we're going to move on to the next word now. And you'll notice the next word is going to start with a W, with the W sound. W. So what I'm going to do under here, under this word, is I'm going to write W. Because you know W is going to be first. Now we have to deal with the E and the T. The E and the T. What sound should we put after W? Let's try E. W, E. And let's try that T. Now let's sound it out together. W, E, T. Wet. W, E, T. Wet. Is wet a word? And it is. So let's go ahead and write it down. W, E, T. Wet. Very good, my friends. Very good. All right, go ahead and take a second, finish that up. All Alright, I'm going to pop my back real quick, guys. I wonder if you can hear it. Hang on. Oh my goodness, that hurt. Oh, been sitting in this chair for too long. My back is all stiff. Yikes. But, alright, enough about that. Let's hop into the next word. We know the next word is going to start with a D sound. D. So just to try it out, we're going to put the D right there. D. Let's try this G next. The G makes the G sound. And then that I is going to make the I sound. D, G, I. D-G. What is a D-G? That's not a word. It's not a word. So let's erase the G and the I and swap them around. Okay, D, I, G. Let's take a look at it now. D-ig. D-ig. Dig. Is dig a word? That it is, my friends. That it is. So we're going to write it down. D-I-G. Dig. And make sure as you're writing it down, you're saying those sounds out to yourself, or out loud to yourself as well, okay? Because it's really going to help you remember those sounds. Dig. Alright, as you're finishing that one up, we're going to notice that our next word is going to start with the R. Okay? So I'm going to write the R down here underneath the word. And now we have to deal with D and E. D and E. Let's go ahead and try the D sound next. R, D, E. R, D, E. Rude. Rude. Guys, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a rude. So that means we need to reset. We've got to keep the R there, because the R is the first letter we're going to be using. So let's try swapping the E and the D. Let's take a look. R, E, D. R, E, D. Red. Is red a word? Red is in fact a word, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to write it down. R, E, D. Red. That's like the color red. Very good. Now, let's take a look at our last word. We know the word is going to start with a B. And we know the word is also going to have a Y and an O sound in it. So, let's go ahead and try the O sound. B, O, and you don't have to write that line over it. I just did that to make sure we're saying the sound the right way. Yeah. B, O, yeah. B, O, yeah. Boy. Boy. Ooh, very nice. And just real quick before we write it down, I want my friends to notice that when the O and the Y is together, it kind of makes the oi sound. B-oi. Boy. Alright? So let's go ahead and write B-oi. Boy. Remember, because that O and that Y together make the oi sound. Boy. Boy. All right. Very good on that one, my friends. Very good. And what we're going to do as you're finishing up, I'm going to move the paper up just a little bit. Remember, if you need to, go ahead and pause the video so you can see the work. Don't want you feeling rushed at all. All right. The last part of this worksheet, what you need to do, and then you're going to do this one on your own, you're going to figure out what this word is here. You're going to write it on this line. And then you're going to draw a picture of it right down here. Okay? And the only other hint I'm going to give you is that your word is going to start with the P or the P sound. P. All right? That is it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get going, but keep in mind, in just a moment, we're going to go over some spelling stuff after this, so stay tuned for that. And after we finish the spelling, you are done with ELA and spelling for the day. Huzzah! But until then, go ahead and focus on this, and then I'll see you in spelling in just a second. Hey guys, Mr. Flanders here, and welcome to spelling. This week's going to be a little bit different than last week in that each spelling video is going to have me going over the spelling words at the start of each video, which is what I'm doing right now. So before we jump into the worksheets, please join me as we go over what our spelling words are this week. Here we go. All right. Our first word is to. What word? To. Our second word, in. What word? In. Word number 3, is. What word? Is. Number 4, you. What word? You. Fantastic. All right, take a big breath in. Blow it up. Here we go. Word number 5. Man. What word? Man. Number 6. Can. What word? Can. Number 7. Ran. What word? Ran. And then our last word is pan. Pan. What word, everybody? Pan. That's right. All right. These are our 8 spelling words for the week. Please join me in just a second on our worksheet for the day. I'll see you in a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we just went over our spelling words on the board. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over them right now and the expectation of this particular worksheet. Now, this worksheet is going to look incredibly familiar to one of the worksheets you did last week. All you're doing is looking at your spelling word, you are saying your spelling word, and then you are going to write each spelling word 3 times each. Now, I know we just went over them on the board, but I'm going to go over them one more time with you so you know which word to write on that particular line. Okay? So, this first word, to. To. You're going to write it 1, 2, 3 times. Next one, in. In. Next word is. Is. Is Mr. Flanders serious? He wants us to write these 3 times each? Yup. Number 4, you. You. You are awesome. You. Number 5, man. Man. The man had a hat on. Number 6, can. Can. I ate the whole can of ravioli. Number 7, ran. Ran. He ran to the store. And number 8, pan. Pan. I make pancakes in a pan. All right. Those are your 8 spelling words for this week. As I said, we already reviewed them on the board. Right now we are just reviewing them again to make sure you know which words you are writing 3 times each. Each word will be written on that row 3 times each. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to get running. I'm going to leave you to this work, and I will see you in the next lesson. Take it easy.